Hey, what's up, James? This is a demo video for you for your Ronin saber. This is installed with the Proffie. It is a 2-button setup, so your switches are right here in your clamp area. Your back tactile, that's your power, or your auxiliary rather, and your front, that will be your power. I also made a blade for this, okay? So I've got your 1-inch diameter Neopixel blade right here. We'll fire all that up here in a second. In order to install this, I had to take everything apart. So I had to take the wrap off, split the saber in half, take out all of the internals that were in it, put them in, and then put everything back together. All right, so how to get to the chassis now, what you want to do is just take this pommel and turn it counterclockwise until it snaps, and then you can pull it out. You'll see your chassis right there. If you go like this, it'll slide right out. And this is what you've got. So you got a Proffie board here, kill switch right in front of it, easy access to your SD card and your micro USB. You can get the SD card out with a pair of tweezers from here. You do not have to move the board, although you can if you want to. It's just a snap fit down into the shelf. All right, then you've got a removable battery. Looking over here, you have an OLED screen. This is a KR Sabres version. Sorry. Removable battery, a fully enclosed 22 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost Nano Elite speaker, and then I put a total of 60 LEDs into your chassis. You have a 30 pixel accent strip right here, and then when you turn it around, you've got another 30 right here. They are wired together though, but separate from your blade. So that's what I was saying. The config that you sent me is a very long config. You had quite a few sound fonts that you had made a config for, but it was set up for one blade. When you go back and do that, you're going to want to do a 2-blade setup. So I went ahead, I just pulled a couple of sound fonts off of your sound card, or your SD card rather, made my own config with 2 blade styles. It's on this SD card, although a copy of the config that I used to make this is on this one. So everything will be on this guy that's going to be in your box. All right. Let's throw a battery in. For simplicity, I just made 2 blade styles, but in actuality, right, you have 30 Neopixel accents here, so you could make up to 30 different blade styles if you use subblades if you wanted to do that. All right, so we'll throw a battery in here. Snaps in there nice and tight. Go ahead and come over here and flip the kill switch.
Just how long are we expected to wait here?
This is what I've got the LEDs doing when the saber is off. You got your battery meter here. You asked for motion control, so this does have twist on. Gave you some OLED animations here. For each sound font that's on here, I gave you a different OLED animation when it's on. All right. And then you've got twist off as well. Just simply take this chassis and put it in the saber. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as, of course, this end goes in first. All right, so we'll slide that in there. Push that in. Don't push on the speaker, though. Try to push on the chassis piece, or just use the pommel. The pommel is what pushes the chassis forward and locks it into the pin system. So now when you come over here and hit power, your LEDs in here light up. Auxiliary. And we'll twist it off. Now, I did not have to sand your blade. Your blade, or this emitter piece, is just a tad tight, but wasn't enough to have to sand the blade. I actually like how tight it is in there. So just kind of take your time putting it in. I'm not going to use the blade retention, although you have one. I'm going to show it to you. Your blade retention's right here. I don't need it for the sake of this demo, but depending on how hard you want to swing this guy around, you'll probably want to use that. All right, so let me turn this off right here. So here you got kind of a red unstable blade. Right. I'll do some blaster bolt deflects, which is just tapping auxiliary. Blade lockup is holding the auxiliary button down and hitting the saber. You see, you got that right here. Now it's over here next to the emitter. And as you bring the saber horizontal, it moves back out towards the tip of the saber. Right here, right? To go to the next sound font, you just tap auxiliary. Very solid. Good flash on flash. Go to another one, hit auxiliary.
It's been a long time since I killed a Jedi.
Now you're asking me, how do you switch color? What you want to do is hold down auxiliary and hit power. You'll hear that noise. And now you can just twist the saber. And you can cycle through any color you want. So if we like that green, we'll hit power. Now we have a green blade. Just like that, right? You can do that on any of these and it will remember the color that you chose. Do that again. So of course, you know, if you just hit power to ignite the saber, whatever pre-on you have will play. Like that. Or if you want to bypass the pre-on, just twist the saber. And it will just go straight to ignite. All right. All right, so we'll go ahead and take the blade out of this guy. I'll turn this light on real quick. I always just kind of twist the blade clockwise so you don't loosen this piece right here. This piece does unscrew if you unscrew it hard enough, right? But it's not a big deal. It'll just screw back in. But to not do that, you know, I'll twist the blade clockwise when I'm putting it in and also clockwise when I'm taking it out. But when you're done, come over here, take your pommel back off and slide your chassis out. These are on a timer, so if you don't turn the saber on right away, they'll time out like they just did. All right, and then the battery is in there pretty tight, so you might need a tool. I usually just use the back of my tweezers from the positive side by your speaker, and you can pop your battery out just like that. All right. And that is basically your Ronin saber. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get these out in the mail to you tomorrow. It will be 2 separate boxes. One will be for this actual saber because you had a box that this came in, and then the other box will be for the blade. All right, thanks.